right. Oh my gosh. It's that time. Hey, Liz, I don't know if the music's off permanently, but I am here. It's 1:02 on Thursday, Catalyst Coaching Day. And I'm excited. We're going to talk about how you can sell 5 houses in 30 days. That's not hyperbole. It's not exaggeration. It's actual. It's real. It can happen. It can happen for you right now. Please go into the chat. Let me know if this is your first time joining me and joining us. If it is, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. Please go into the chat so I can see who's here. And oh yeah, Kevin, you're on every week. I see you. I see you. Hey, if you can put your videos on, folks, it will make it a little bit better. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Donna. I know you guys, ladies. I also see, yeah, first time, Alexander. Nice to see you. Tell me where you're tuning in from, what part of the country, and I'm going to get us started here in a moment, but I want you to take out a notepad right now. I need a notepad. I need something for you to write action items on. Perfect. We're going to take action items. We're going to take action. And that's the biggest key here is that when you put this stuff into action in a while, please take action. If you just go through this session today and you come out of it saying, wow, that was great. I'm energized. I feel wonderful. And you take no action, it was really just a session that you enjoyed and hopefully liked my stories or whatever. But I get totally excited when you put these things into implementation and you put a premium, like a massive premium on like a massive premium. Imagine this, a massive premium on execution. That is the part that matters. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, I have a torrential downpour going on in Cleveland, Ohio right now. It's just starting. So hopefully my internet will be fine. But please, if you're just joining us, go into the chat. Tell us where you're coming from, what city you're in, and make some friends here. We do a lot of referrals through Sherri Johnson Coaching. And I see, a lot of people I recognize. Put your cameras on if you can. It would be fantastic. Please, I hope you're not driving. But if you can put your cameras on, it'll be a better experience for you. We know that. You'll be more engaged. And I can also follow that you're actually getting what I'm saying, right? I see head nods. I see smiles. Bel Air. That's right by one of my team members. Liz is in Bel Air. Liz, you got a neighbor. Yeah, torrential downpour here. Wonderful. Please take out your notepads. If you have not been on a Sherri Johnson Catalyst call, welcome. Oh my gosh, Susan Turner. Hello. Wow. Icon right here in my hometown and my former company. So great to see you on here. All right. So take out your notepads. Fayetteville, Georgia, we love you. Please take out your notepads. Please take notes. But more importantly, your notes should take action. Like you have to take notes from your notes and star things and put them in, okay? Literally put them into an action list. This is not just a note-taking session. I want you to actually take action. This is not just for you to hear what I'm going to say. I want you to really learn something and internalize it. And what I will say is that coaching isn't just taking people and making them great, right? Thanks for putting your cameras on. Love it. Coaching isn't just making people great. What it is taking your great selves, right? And pulling out the potential that I know you have. You haven't tapped into it. It's there and it can happen. It can happen for you right now. All you have to do is tap into it. So I would prefer more of you have cameras on than off. So some of you just had them on and you just turn them off, put them back on, please. People will follow. Set the tone and help us all have a better coaching experience for everyone here. If you're first timers, welcome. If you've been with me before, welcome back. I see, the Southern Gulf Coast, Atlanta, awesome. Please enjoy this. I'm going to put a slide deck on and move over. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat, and certainly would want to answer questions. This session, again, is called Generating 5 Sales in 30 Days While Working Less. I think everybody would love to do that on a consistent basis. If you've never done the Goldmine Pipeline system, I need you to write that down. You need to download the Goldmine Pipeline. I'll give you a place to do that in a few minutes. You need a pipeline of leads in order for this to happen. If you're only working with 2 to 3 people that want to do something right now, chances are 2 things are going to happen. One, those 2 to 3 people actually buy and you have a few sales, right? And you're like, hey, I've got a few sales. I have 2 to 3 closings. That's really great. You're like, I got some deals happening. And those deals close. You spend the next 4 to 6 weeks closing those deals. And now you're on the roller coaster ride of income. Are you not? Right? Those 3 deals happened. Now you're following up, closing them, making sure they close, doing all the things you have to do to keep those deals together. I get it. But then it's over. And now you have to start over. Who hates the starting over period, right? You have to start over because you have no leads. And you are like, I don't have anything. I just sold my listing sold, my buyers bought. And now you're like, I got to prospect again. And it takes time. And that roller coaster ride can be gone and eliminated by adopting and using my literally exclusive Goldmine Pipeline system. It will double or triple your sales regardless of your years of experience, regardless of your current production level. So I have people that are 40 years in the business that do 100 million use this with their teams. I have agents that are 25 years in the business at 14 million now do 25, 30 million. I have agents at 3 million that do 10 million in their first 11 or 12 months after employing it and deploying it. And really the word is executing it. Okay. You're saying, what is this Goldmine Pipeline? I'll cover it in a minute. What I want you to do though, is think about how you spend your time. A lot of our coaching, my style is to be sort of unapologetic and tell you what's not working. Cause I know, right? I know that you are kind of doing a lot of busy work, right? The greatest thing about real estate is it's flexible. The worst thing about real estate is that it's flexible. Am I right? And so we tend to like dress up, show up, go look at some houses, and yet I didn't make any money today. And that just isn't going to work when you've got some pretty big financial goals and life goals and freedom goals that you want to have. So I really want you to take today and change your life by what I'm going to share with you. Okay. This isn't just like selling houses. I mean, it is. It's what we do. But what needs to change in your behavior and your daily behavior that just isn't working? Because a lot of times we are looking at, you're literally looking at just modifying a few things that bring about what I call absolutely drastic changes. And those drastic changes, okay, are actually, they're so fabulous. And what will happen is when you have a drastic change in your life, you optimize your day and work output. You focus on just a couple vital few things you have to get done. You're laser focused. You'll be intentional. You will be crossing the finish line every single week with sales, every single week with income, and working less and having everything you want, which I call, freedom, right? Freedom, turning in a listing, turning in a sale, having systems in place, but really saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I can actually do this business with less stress and more output. I just can't believe it. I'm going to have to mute some people. Hold on. There we go. If you have a question, if you just joined us, we're recording this. We will be sending you the replay. You can watch it again, share it with a friend. I would suggest watching it a second time. There's always something else you're going to hear that you didn't hear the first time. I want to share with you real quickly my background. I am 29 years, hard to believe, in real estate. I am in Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. I spent 10 10 years in sales, another 14 years in executive leadership and management for the largest privately owned company in the country, possibly on the planet, Howard Hanna Real Estate. I spent the last 8 years launching Sherri Johnson Coaching, Consulting, and Speaking, and we literally provide solutions for agents, teams, brokerage companies. I was a preferred coach for many of the top 3 brands for years, and I can tell you that my first month in the business, right? I remember my dad saying, "You may not sell a house for 6 months." I was 26 years old. It was 1996. I was 26 and I had a condo payment and a car payment and a really high shopping habit, and I was single, no kids, and I still probably arguably have that same shopping habit today, and I have kids today. But I will tell you, back in that 1996, get my license. I was actually with Smythe Kramer Company, iconic brand in Cleveland, Ohio, later to be purchased by Howard Hanna. And Susan is on the call. She was with me at Smythe Kramer. And here's the thing. It was do or die. Like, I had to make money. Okay. I didn't have an option. I was not asking my dad or mom for money. They wouldn't have given it to me anyway. And here's what happened, right? I sold 5 houses my first month. And the reason I'm telling you that is not to tell you that I had 5 sales in the first month. It's to tell you that one of them came from my sphere. The other 4 came from one house. My first listing, I sold it myself at the open house. Those people had a house to sell. I sold it within a week or 2. And then I picked up a buyer and sold that gentleman a home in the same month. So 4 sales came from one house. I want you to write these words down. Do you multiply or leverage the sale of each one of your listings? Meaning, do you sell 3 to 5 houses off of every one of your listings? In our skills assessment, when people join coaching, they always say, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. Sell 3 to 5 houses off of, like, that's olden days, Sherri. No, it's not actually. You can still do this strategy. It works. The strategy works. I know it works. I coach people on it daily. Thousands of cool stories of people making, $100,000 from one open house or one listing, bringing in 5 more deals. That's a strategy shift that might not be something you think about, because what you're thinking about is finishing that deal, right? You're thinking about closing that deal and moving on to the next one. I want you to think differently today. And that's what I do. I get you to think differently. I get you to change the way you're thinking and re-engineer the way your brain works about how I can generate more listings, more sales, and actually do it with less work. I think everybody's up for that, right? That's why you're here. So let's get right to it. So you can connect with me here if you haven't. If you are connected with me and you still want my entire digital card that has downloads and other things, you can click and connect right to my first podcast, which is fabulous and has lots of great content. But you can click downloads for, you can get the Gold Mine Pipeline, for example, from this digital platform. So go ahead and save this. Send me a text. Let me know that you've downloaded. Put your name in that text. I'll save your information. And then you can always book another call with me or set up, just send me your Gold Mine Pipeline. That's a big hint. So write that down. Send Sherri Gold Mine Pipeline. Okay. Here is an offer that I'm giving you today. I'm going to give it to you now, and then I'm also going to give it to you at the end. A free 20-minute coaching call with me. They usually go a little over than 20 minutes, but in 20 minutes, we can identify where you're missing opportunities, how we can fill the Gold Mine Pipeline, how we can get you to selling 3 to 5 houses off of every listing, and ultimately selling 5 houses in a 30-day period. Okay. I usually, thank you, I'm getting all these texts. I usually have to say to someone, change the way you think, right? And your outcomes will change. What needs to change in your thinking that we can address in this call that you get? Talk about whatever you want. You want to become a listing agent. You want to list more. You want to flip the ratio of buy sides, sell list sides. You want to increase your average sell price, whatever it is, we can do it. Okay. So I'll show you this again. The calendar fills up, get your spot, scan that QR code and book your appointment. Here's the retired podcast. This is called You Rock with Sherri Johnson. I have a brand new podcast coming out actually this month called the Sherri Johnson Podcast Show. And that one will actually have all new content, new interviews. But I want to point to this one. This one has interviews, content, scripts. I have agents who tell me, they stop me in an elevator and say, "You are Sherri Johnson. I recognize your voice." And I'm like, "You must listen to my podcast because I don't recognize you." And this gal, this woman, this real estate agent at NAR in Orlando said to me, "I not only listen to your podcast, Sherri, I've sold 5 houses from your podcast." Now that made my entire month, quarter, year. I mean, think about that. Okay. It's content. It's delivered right into your psyche when you're driving, when you're walking, when you're doing a workout, whatever. You want to get your groove on and get your sales, value added sales hype on. Listen to my podcast. There's some great interviews in there as well. Social media experts, all kinds of great content that you can implement and use. You have a team, you don't have a team, you're a solo agent, whatever. You'll love this. Okay. Again, this is the retired podcast, about 300 episodes. I launched this one years ago. And again, we're starting the new one. It's called the Sherri Johnson Show. It'll be out in the next week. I want you to think about where your mindset is right now. Do you see opportunity? I know it's a challenging market. I get it. I get it. I have teams that are up 40%, and I have agents who are down 40%, and I have everything in between. And I can tell you that your mindset determines what you're going to actually achieve. That's it. It's always been this way. There is nothing new about this concept, okay? It comes down to where you are thinking. If you think I can sell 5 houses a month, you will. If you're currently at 3 and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get the time. Yes, you need to make adjustments. That's it. We're going to talk about that today because I've got a system called 90 days to 100K, right? 90 days to $100,000. Some of you, that's 5 deals a month. Some of you, that's 3 deals a month. I know this, you're so much more capable of what you're doing, but your mindset has to be one of abundance. If you are sitting there saying this is going to be hard, I mean, look, we just got through that whole thing, right? With learning what we should have been doing. I've been teaching home buyer guides and home buyer consultations for 30 years, 29 years. I've been talking about this is how I work, this is how I get paid. Right. And we're actually seeing more people, more agents make more money on the buy side. Thank goodness. Right. That's actually a good thing. This whole thing happened and we all lived it. And sadly, I saw a bunch of people leave the industry because their mindset wasn't in the right place for the changes. Right. We're so nimble, this industry we're in. I mean, if you were here in 08, 09, please. Right. This is just what we would call normal, balanced market, depending on where you are in the country. But please look at your mindset and say, what do I need to change? Is it maybe the people you're hanging around? Is it the news you're consuming on a daily basis? How do you start your day? How do you look at your life? How do you look at your monthly sales? Do you have a plan? And if you can say, I am in an abundant mindset, I promise you that's the first turning point. When you say, you know what? My sales aren't down. My confidence level might be, or the fact that I never thought I could do 5 deals in 1 month. Like I remember taking someone from 5 to 10 units very quickly. I was managing an office, I was managing a region. I had about 800 agents. And this one agent was like, I want to sell 10 houses a month. I go, let's go. Boom. We put the plan in place. But it has to start with you. Like you have to be the first person to believe you can do this, or it's never going to happen. Right? I left this corporate job. I mean, a single mom. I left this corporate job and I walked off the cliff and said, I am a national speaker. Hire me. To complete strangers all over the country. Right? You have to be the first person to believe that you are a top agent in your office. You are the most qualified, best negotiator, best marketer. What you do is radically different than what anybody else does, even if they're at the same company as you. So where is your belief in you? Do you need to stop and check that real quick? Do you need to say, oh, wait a minute. Sherri Johnson just said, I am a top agent. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Alan Chandler said this to me. He was the vice president of marketing and advertising at the company. I was a brand new agent. I hadn't even sold a house yet. I was visiting the corporate office, 1996, and he said to me, you are a top agent in your office. And I said, I'm not. I'm going to be. I plan to be. I want to be. And he said it again. And I said, but Alan, I haven't sold a house yet. And he said, listen to me. I'm going to say this one more time to you. You, Sherri Johnson, are a top agent in your office. You offer the same high quality, exceptional real estate service to buyers and sellers. Do you not? I said, yes. Do you have all the tools? I said, yes, I do. Did you just learn them all? I said, yes, I did. He said, so there. You're as good as those agents delivering the same service. They've just been doing it longer than you. And he wasn't taking anything away from the agents who had been there before me, but he made me feel like I could do anything. I walked out of that office in Independence, Ohio, and my shoulders were back, my head was high, and I was like, I am doing this. I'm a $10 million agent. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be. Okay. So write it down. Like, what do you want to accomplish? Put it on the paper, please. Okay. Like, put it on the paper. I'm writing notes as I talk. Right. So here's what I want you to do. I just say, where is my mindset? Do I have the right mindset? Do I need to change some things? I can't do that for you. I can give you all the tools. I can give you the ideas. I can give you the strategies that are going to make amazing things happen for you, but it has to start with you, right? And then I said this at the beginning, you might have just gotten on, so I'm going to repeat it. Premium on execution. Write that down. I have to execute these things or nothing's going to happen, right? How do I sell 3 to 5 homes from every listing? Well, we have an entire marketing plan for that. We help agents go find listings and houses that are not yet listed. We also help you sell 3 to 5 houses off of every listing, right? Through neighborhood open house preview, through all kinds of really cool strategies. But do you have a strategy for that? Do you just put a sign up, it sells, and you go to the next deal? Or do you leverage that one listing? Nosy neighbors aren't nosy neighbors. They're actually future clients, and they're great referrals, right? Let's change the way we look. Let's change our perspective and change your outcomes. I promise you, you will love it. You need a business plan, you know, a 1, a 3, a 5-year business plan. My coach had me write a 20 and 30-year business plan. Not because I want to work in 20 years or 30 years, but because I want to leave a legacy. What is happening that I impacted? Do you know your numbers? I ask people all the time, what are your year-to-date sales? And they say, I don't know. How much money have you made? I don't know. 97% of agents do not have a business plan. That's 3% do, right? A written business plan. Please write this down. Write a business plan. If you don't have one, we have one. It's simple. It's a very simple, I call it the 10-minute business plan. We don't spend hours yes, we're going to write a social media digital plan, a sphere campaign of how you're going to connect with your sphere to drive 90% referrals to you. Yes, we're going to have a marketing and campaign, postcard campaign, and a sphere campaign for events and seeing and reaching out to your people for referrals. All of that has to happen, but you could have the greatest marketing plan, but if you don't have a sales strategy, I mean, we're just literally waiting for something to happen instead of going out and making it happen. So how much time do we spend saying, I need to do 5 deals a month. I need X in the pipeline. Okay. I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share what that looks like, but you need to know what are your numbers every month and then re-engineer it working backwards, right? How many appointments do I have to have a week? How many listing appointments do I need to go on every week? Okay, write that down. I want you to have before we end this call today, I want you to walk out of here with a goal for a number of listing appointments per week. I'll define what that is in a moment because it's not the one where they're signing. Okay, I get it. You're like, gosh, I can't. I'm talking about the one ultimate listing appointment where they sign the listing and hire you. I'm talking about the pre-listing appointment where you go see the house for the first time. Okay, get to that in a moment. Know your numbers, though. We have to know our numbers. I can't teach you to do 5 deals a month, right? Sell 5 houses in 30 days. And by the way, I don't want you to do that just once. I hope you're sitting there thinking, I could sell 60 houses a year. Why couldn't you? I did it. You could do it. There was nothing special. I didn't buy leads. I can tell you that you can do anything. You just have to be, again, the first person that believes that. You're not believing that, or something has gotten stuck. You are in what I call the cul-de-sac of your real estate business life cycle. You are stuck doing the same things you've always done. The 7 steps to success. I talk about this all the time. We have 10x goals. What are 10x goals? Ridiculous goals. Not realistic. Nobody gets excited about realistic anything. I don't. No. I'd rather you set a goal to make 350, right? And make 250, than set a goal to make 175 and actually just make 175. So we want that stretch goal. That's the only way I coach, right? We do 3-tier levels of goal setting. What is your 10x goal? What does that mean? Well, 10xing something is way different than a 10% increase. 10% increase, like a 10% increase on 10 is 1. Now we're at 11. A 10xing on 10 is 100. So if you 10x your goals, great. You're doing what I teach. If you're not, I'll give you an example. I was in a company down in Georgia, and I asked this agent, her name was Keisha, and I said, "What are your goals for next year?" It was January. And she said, "Well, last year, Sherri, I did 6.9 million. So this year I'm setting the goal at 9 million. And I said, "Why so low?" And she looked at me like, "Is that low?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, like 6.9 is really 7 million. And if you're at 7 million and you're going to increase to 9 million, that's only a 2 million increase. Your average sale price is 500,000. So you're telling me you're only going to increase 4 more units this year in a 12-month year." She looked at me, she said, "I never looked at it that way." I said, "I know you didn't. What if you did 1 more unit a month?" I mean, think about that, right? 1 more unit a month is $6 million, I think. 500 times 12. Yeah, it's 6 million. Just a double check. 6 more million instead of 2. She had never looked at it that way because it sounded harder to achieve a $9 million goal than it really is. When your average sale price is 500,000, right? Every million is 2 deals. So we sat down, we recalculated the numbers. We set a new goal for 14 million. She closed over 12 million that year. That's what's so great about this, right? Shoot for the moon, land on some stars. I'd rather you shoot for the moon than shoot for just the flagpole. I love the flag. The flagpole, though, is not that high, right? The moon is in the stratosphere. So I want you to think bigger, right? We got to fill the gold mine pipeline, have an action plan. I have to have you have intentional focus and tenacity. 2 words I love. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Why people have unbelievable focus. It's amazing to study. Time blocking the money hours means that's when you're doing the thing you said you were going to do. I'm doing the thing Sherri Johnson told me to do. I'm doing it during this time block, period. I'm not getting distracted by a phone call or social media or anything for the matter. I mean, nothing is going to interrupt the time that you dedicate to lead generation, okay? That's the most important thing you do. It's not returning a call to a seller, and believe it or not, it's not finishing the removal of contingency form that you've already negotiated. The most important thing at the top of every single day is to make sure your pipeline is full, or you will not have business tomorrow, next month, and 2 months or 3 months from now. It'll be this constant roller coaster ride of up and down, sell a house, don't sell a house, okay? Having appointments has to be on your list. If you don't have appointments in your calendar right now, I don't know what you're going to sell. Think about that right now. Is your calendar full? Is it full now, or is it not full? I don't know. Do you have listing appointments in there? Do you have buyer showing appointments, buyer consultation appointments? Do you have time blocked designated lead generation time? Probably not. Okay. There's a reason these teams do the numbers they do. Everyone on the team is required to do lead generation from 8 in the morning to noon. A lot of the teams I coach, it's mandatory. You don't book appointments then. You're calling people to make appointments so your calendar is full. Change our perspective and we'll change our lives. The tracking and measuring piece is where it all comes together. When we track and measure anything, it improves. Scientific, we know this. Track and measure the number of calls, the number of appointments. Like when you track and measure the number of listing appointments you book for yourself per week, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. When you add accountability to that, it not only goes up, it exponentially goes up. It exponentially improves, which I think is the part that's so awesome when I see people go from, 32 million to 84 million in 11 months. I just said 32 million to 84 million in 11 months, while also increasing their average sale price, $2.5 million. How is that even possible? We did it. So I want you to think, what is your game plan? Do you have one? Do you have a 10x action plan? And what do I mean by that? I want you to 10x your activities. Instead of making 10 calls a day, you have an 8-hour day. This is full time. We are not for profit. You got to show up for your own success. If you go make these calls, things will happen. If you text people, if you start a conversation, we do a text sprint. I'll share what that is in a minute. And an agent in coaching, she sent 35 texts out, gave her the script to write on it. Just 5 contracts, 2 listings with signs in the yard. 1 is under contract. 2 buyer agreements, showing buyers from this one text to 35 people. And then just sold a $600,000 commercial property from a referral on the 35 texts. Okay. That is a lot of revenue from 35 texts. I'd be happy if you got 2 things from that, right? We all would be. She got 5 contracts. So when we track and measure things and we make it a priority, that's when the real growth and transformation of your business changes. And it's not going to happen unless we make it happen, right? So I say make it happen. Specific goals, specific outcomes, relentless focus. Now, I don't have a slide for this. I made 2 slides. They didn't show up. That's why I was a minute late getting in here. I want you to write this down, okay? I want you to write 80 and then 20, okay? And I just saw this and it's so intriguing to me. It's like the reason you look at Steve Jobs, you look at Elon Musk, whether you like these people or not, and you say, how do they achieve what they achieve? Right? And I just saw this and I want you to go look it up if you want on Google, but it's the 80-20, literally single purpose versus noise. Okay. If you are literally think about if you are 50-50, we're not very effective. There's a lot of noise, distractions, our head's spinning. We have a lot going on. Okay. We have a lot of things happening all the time. I get it. I have the same thing. I get distracted. Someone, this, that. Like, how do you focus? And you look at somebody, Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, and it was really Kevin O'Leary who does this video, if you Google it, about literally they are so singular mindset on 1 to 3 tasks. That's it. And they're not done until they don't move on to anything else. They ignore the noise. So if you hear 20% noise and you're 80% focused, what is your day going to look like? I guarantee you will get more things accomplished and across the finish line. I have this really great book, the productivity book that I use, still like a book, right? And it says, and it's so great, it says, the one thing you fear the most doing is probably the number one thing you have to do. I see some heads nodding. The thing you fear most doing is the number one thing you need to do, period. That's it. So, we avoid that, but it hurts us. It's not going to hit your goals. It's not going to get you to 5 deals. I want you to think differently. What is your why? Like, if you have the hunger to say, I will do whatever it takes, then your day doesn't end until you have 4 listing appointments booked for the week. Does that make sense? So you got to think about it. Like, what am I willing to do? Do I do whatever it takes? I'm not done calling, apparently, because I didn't get 4. Maybe I got 4, and instead of resting on my laurels, I make another 10 or 15 calls and I get 2 more. Because your enthusiasm's up, your energy is high, you are literally confident. You just hit your goal, right? But what drives you? Like, a lot of us have a thing we got to fix. I got to fix the debt. I'm going to pay my house off. I want to pay college off for somebody. I don't know what your thing is. Write it down. I remember when I was managing the west side of Ohio, there were a lot of people that just did that by accident. This one guy wanted a boat, and I would say, "Hey, Todd, how's the boat coming?" Look at my watch, and I'd say, "How's the boat coming?" I see you have, 3 deals on the board. Where's the 4th one? So I know our goal to get the boat is 4 deals. I'm not talking about numbers or income. I'm talking about the boat. I'm talking about the thing that's driving you, right? That's what gets me excited. That changes your life. So what is that thing that you need/want? And what are we willing to do it? I just heard somebody the other day say their goal was to pay off their mom's mortgage on their house. That's a pretty awesome goal. And they did it. It's pretty cool too. All right, so I want you to write this tactic down. What if you were to sell 1 more house a month in a specific price point? Let me rephrase that or say it again. We're talking about selling 5 houses a month, but what if one of those houses was in a price point that you wanted to elevate your average sales price at? So Heath, if you were in 450 right now and you wanted to be in the 850 and you said, you know what, Sherri Johnson, I want 10 listings, or in my example, be 12 listings in one specific price point. I see agents, they say, well, I had $1 million sale. Okay. If that's a high turnover market, that $1 million, I mean, it's got to be high turnover. We can make that a goal. You can actually say, I'm going to have 12 sales over $1 million. I'm going to have 12 sales over 850. I'm going to have 12 sales over 450. I don't know all your price points, but let's be specific. Let's be so intentional that we make that goal happen, right? 12 of my listings are going to be over this number. Yes, now we put the plan in place to go do it. But it takes just having you say, you know what? I want to make some bigger numbers. So this is that 3-tier income goals that we do in our business planning with agents to break the glass ceiling. And this is setting 10x income goals. What do I have to make? What's the number you can't go below? That's that first one, first level. The one that's great is the number you might have in your head before you met me, right? The goal you had for income. These are income goals, not transaction, not production, not volume. These are income goals. Write the income down. Must, great, and amazing. And amazing is going to be that sky's the limit. Shoot for the moon. I see people write, 125,000 on the must. The great is 250, and the amazing is 500, right? If you broke 500, maybe the amazing becomes 750. Okay, nothing better than watching someone pass through 7 figures on purpose, but it has to start with you. Okay, you're going to work backwards, figure out what you make per deal. When you figure that number out, now you know exactly how many potential listings and potential buyers need to be on your pipeline. It really is a great math formula. It's very simple. One of the things we do in coaching, we give you all of the strategy. We give you all of the worksheets. They're easy, simple. This one pager just keeps you on track. It's the one page. That's what I have to do. Tracking the measuring and tracking. And this is going to take you from, 5 units to 10 units. It's the same form I used to coach. It's a little bit improved, but it's the same form I used to take that agent in 2000, I think it was 12, 2010. She was doing, 10 million. Now she's doing, over 20, over 25 million just by having a tracking system to say, this is what I have to do each week to make that happen. Now, if you're not doing that, you're kind of just winging it. And winging it is not a strategy, right? Hope is not a strategy. Hope is great. I have a lot of hope for the world, for my kids. I have a lot of hope for a lot of things. I'm very hopeful and it's a great virtue. Hope is not action. So when someone says, I hope I do, it's not going to happen. Getting ready to get ready also does not work. I'm thinking about doing that. Well, we're either doing it or we're not, right? I think that's from Star Wars, Yoda. Do or do not, right? There is no try. But think about this. Do you have a weekly listing appointment goal? Chances are you've never heard of this before. I mean, you've heard about setting goals, I'm sure. I mean, do you have a specific goal for how many people you're going to have conversations with? Let's define listing appointment. Go see the house for the first time. They're not ready for 6 to 12 months. Perfect opportunity for you to go there. 82% of the time, that seller is going to choose the first person that came through that house. It's going to be you. I just had an agent. Well, two. Last week, someone got on here and said, I've been in business for 25 years. Let me see if she's on. She said, I've been in the business for 25 years or 20 years. I've never focused on appointments. Like most of it, she's not on today. But here's what she said. I don't focus on appointments. I would focus on just the people when they wanted me to come over. Like, how many of us are doing that, right? Like, so many people say to me, I'm just doing what's coming to me. What if you went out and made it happen? What if you took your list on the Gold Mine Pipeline? You're like, I'm going to get appointments with these people. Well, she did. She got $1.5 million buyer. She said, I listened to you say, just get the appointment. Stop focusing on, ruling it out. I think what you guys do and what everyone tends to do is they say to me, well, they're not ready yet. Okay, well, you're not going to like the next slide, right? They're going to buy from somebody else if you're not the one that is there maximizing the opportunity, adding value. So you have to add massive value, but this listing appointment goal is simple. You hit this listing appointment goal, everything else will take care of itself. I promise you, you'll have a ton of buyers. I promise you, you will have control over your life, your schedule, right? Being the listing agent's the best part. The sign, the billboard in the yard, social media exposure, all of it. Okay. Sell 3 to 5 houses off that listing too. So if we focused on just setting listing appointments in your calendar, how could you do that? Well, book appointments, even with the people who are 2 to 5 to 12 months out, because those people are going to buy eventually. They're going to sell eventually. The second story I wanted to tell you just this week, one of our agents said, Sherri, I booked an appointment with someone who wasn't going to list till September. Went to their house, got a tour, ended up, by the time I got to their house, they were like, yeah, we want to do this now. She's got it going live. It went live July 2nd. And she said, thank goodness I booked that appointment. Yes. Stop ruling out people thinking they're not ready. Every single lead is ready. You just have to talk to them where they're at, right? I work with buyer and seller clients. I work with seller clients for weeks or months before we put a sign in the yard. I can do the same thing for you, right? No pressure, just results. If you love that, a lot of agents love it. They use it. Then they give me their business card or they show me their marketing. They're like, I copied that. I'm like, I want you to copy it, actually. No pressure, just results was literally the 4 words that summed up what I do, right? No pressure. I work at your pace, your speed. 2 months, 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years. I'm not going anywhere. You need business months from now. You're not doing that right now. Right now, you're basically this roller coaster right now. Opportunities aren't lost. They go to someone else. And I know this because how many of you, and I'm looking at some of your faces, how many of you didn't follow up with somebody and they ended up listing, you see the house, they said they weren't ready and you saw the house in the MLS, right? Anybody? Or worse off, you saw the sign in the yard And you're like, that's weird. They told me they were not selling for another 6 to 12 months. And there it is. There's the sign. They listed with somebody else. It happens to everybody. I'm sorry I'm reminding you of it, but opportunities are not lost. They go to someone else, meaning they don't just dissolve, they didn't vanish. That opportunity is going to buy or sell eventually. I followed up with an open house lead on my gold mine pipeline for 11 months. They ghosted me. They actually didn't call me back, didn't text me, didn't email me back. And then the 11th month, when they did, they chose me because of my follow up. How funny is that, right? They ended up buying and selling, 2 sales. 18 months later, they bought and sold again, right? The fortune is in the follow up, everybody. Like, in order to do this, you have to be filling the pipeline. So let's avoid the roller coaster ride. I want to give you this so you can download it. Again, the goal of the pipeline is to create predictable and consistent monthly income every single month. Instead of this, we're going to just like this, up, up, up. We're going to do, 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month, whatever. The fact is you don't have a full pipeline. If you play the long game with me and you build future business into your pipeline, you will always know what's happening 2, 3, 6, 8 months from now. Don't you all need business in September right now? Yes. Wouldn't it be nice to know that you had 3 listings, actually in my 5 listings and 5 sales? Yeah, right? You can make that happen by having a full pipeline. It's not going to happen if you have a couple people on this thing. Your job is to fill it, add value, get appointments with everybody on here, meet them where they are, and you will have a pipeline. If you normally do about 4 million, 5 million, you probably have 12 to 15 million dollars on your pipeline. You just have never looked at it like this before. If you do 10 million, you probably have, 18 to 25 million dollars on your pipeline. I just did this with a coaching client out of Virginia. Not just, it was, gosh, last summer, I guess. She's still in coaching, and she filled this out, and she's a 22, 23-year veteran, fabulous agent, doing 18 to 22 million a year. She said, I want to make $1 million. Can we do that? I said, yes. Map out the pipeline. You know what? She had $57 million in her pipeline of potential business. She's like, I'm obsessed with this pipeline. I said, you should be. Everyone should be. It's the lifeline of your business. It's actually all the business you're going to do. We separate out the listing leads, separate the buyer leads, and we assign it a value, everybody. And when you do that, you can get yourself to 5 transactions a month. If you don't have anything on this pipeline, we got to start with the pipeline. Start with the pipeline and build what I call the Alaskan pipeline. It goes on forever. So does your gold mine pipeline. Why do I call it a gold mine? Because agents, you are literally sitting on a gold mine of leads. You just don't think they're good. You don't think they're ready because they don't want to do something right now. In fact, every one of you is really good. Okay. You're really good when someone knows what they're doing, right? They show up, they're like, Matt, we're ready to list. They were ready to list. And you're like, okay, grab your stuff and you go. We know what to do with people who know what they're doing. We don't know what to do with people who don't know what they're doing. They're the ones that sort of fall through the cracks. They're the ones we don't follow up on. There are coaches out there telling people, once someone ghosts you 3 times, to move on. No. Stay with those people. Like, the fact that they're not responding doesn't mean they're never buying from you and they're never selling. They're just busy. People are living crazy lives, right? So don't give up. Ghosting is part of the process. How do you like that? That's like a new one, right? Ghosting, write that down. Ghosting is part of the process, Sherri Johnson says. So you can scan this. We'll send you the ebook. We'll send you the PDF version. In coaching, you get like an entire Google spreadsheet on this. It's pretty cool. And this document is going to change your life. And I have people who say if this is the only thing they got from coaching, a $12,000 investment that made them another 150 grand on top of what they were already making, They told me all the time, Go My Pipeline is literally the single best thing. Now we have 45 other lead gen strategies to help you tap into your sphere, do social media, all of it. Micro farm for listings, that's very popular. You need this, you need it. And I'll tell you what, when you add it up, you want to send me a picture. Like, I want you to send me page 4 where you add it all up and you're like, wow, right? You have to add it up. That's the best part. Monetizing the value of the entire lead. Now, I told you I was going to show you this 20-minute tech sprint. So I'm going to show you that. Then I'm going to show you another document that I need you to incorporate into your life. So the 20-minute tech sprint came from, I was teaching agents, and I still teach agents. Let's spell over here. I teach agents to do the 10 calls to 20 grand, right? Write that down. 10 calls to 20K. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? You make 10 calls. Heath, you make 10 calls, you make 20 grand, right? One of the people are going to say yes. They have a house to sell. It's 2 transactions. You make $10,000 a deal, hypothetically, right? 10 calls, 2 deals, 20K, okay, with a phone. Now, and I want you all to do that, and I want you to listen to me when I tell you, I guarantee one of the 10 is going to say yes or maybe. Will you make those calls now that I said that? Yes, of course you'll make those calls. I just told you were going to be successful. People say to me, well, it sounds better when you say it. Well, I know why it sounds better when I say it. I just said that there would be success at the end of it. Back to mindset. I pick up the phone and I say, which 3 people are saying yes today, right? Because my ratio is like 30% yes. Sometimes it's 50% yes, right? If I call expireds, it's 85% yes to meet with me. What's your closing ratio, right? So 10 calls to 20 grand. And I promise you, you do that, you're gonna be obsessed with doing it. I took the 10 calls to 20 grand and I was in Maui speaking for a company. And a very good friend of mine, Jesse, said, he got up and he did a presentation. He said, we're going to all take out your phones. We're all going to do a tech sprint. And I was like, what is he talking about? Tech sprint. The heck's a tech sprint? He said, I want you to take out your phones and in 20 minutes, maybe it was less, might have been less. He said, it was less. He said, I want you to text as many people as you can. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them if they know anyone thinking of moving, whatever. We did this, and I said, this sounds like my 10 calls to 20 grand. So I came up with a 20-minute tech sprint, 20 minutes to 20 grand. Same idea, okay? Why would I encourage you to text people? Well, 15 years ago, I would have said, don't text anybody. Today, texting is actually a really great form of starting a conversation that leads to an appointment. Am I right? So I want you to take a screenshot of this if you want. And I want you to send this out. The person who just had 5 contracts from doing 35 texts, this is the exact wording she used. She didn't even change it. Now, if it was before the 4th of July, you could say to people, what are you doing on the 4th? If it was after, you say, how was your 4th? I want you to ask a question at the end so people have to engage with you and have a conversation with you, right? I like to ask for referrals like this. I'm taking new listings. I'm taking new listings for the fall market as we approach fall. I'm taking new listings and I'm happy to help any of your friends, family members, coworkers, or neighbors. That's woven in there, right? Why do I say that? Well, I want people to think about those people in their life. It's easier to get a referral if you ask who they know instead of do. If you say, do you know anybody? That's a yes or no question. And they're going to say no, because instantly I'm like, I don't know, no one, right? Plus, they also think it's going to be that you expect them to have like now, like right now. Do you know anybody who wants to move right now? We're not asking that. So I write in there in the next, you could put 2 months, in the next 3 months to 2 years. We're not asking for people who want to go buy today. Is there anyone you know who may be moving, who may be thinking of buying, selling, or investing in the next 3 months to 24 months or 2 years, right? I'd be honored to help them. And then following it up with, when can we get together for breakfast, coffee, or a drink? Now, an agent did this to 400 people, got 55 appointments. That's pretty good. Okay. Forget the numbers of deals he put together. But what could you do if you did this, right? If you want to copy and paste it. I'm not talking about sending out a mass text on your CRM. I'm talking about just taking the people on your phone and connecting with them. Okay. 20-minute text sprint works every time. Everyone always gets something out of this. I'm going to tell you, don't think about who you're sending it to either, because one of the brand new agents at a company that I coach in Florida, this new agent sent out, I think she sent out 60 to 70 texts. She got a $400,000 buyer from it as a referral. And I said, oh, that's fabulous. And like I always say, like, who was it that you sent it to that referred you? And she said, well, it's my daughter's cheer coach. I said, oh, wow, the cheer coach. I said, did you know her well? She said, no, I didn't know her at all. She was in my phone. I'm like, you sent a text to someone you don't barely know. She said, I did. And I said, you're amazing. So let's not get hung up on, should I send it to them or not? No, send it. Challenging you right now to a 20-minute text sprint. By the way, 1 hour would be a 3x text sprint. Do it 3 times. It's an hour. Take a break. Maybe weave it into your daily activities every week. How many are you going to do this? This is like so easy. So easy. Another guy sent out just this week, a group I coach in Houston. The kid, he's not a kid, but Antonio said, I did the 20-minute text sprint and he's got a buyer, 350. And then he goes, oh, and they want to buy land. And then all of a sudden he realized it was like, they want to buy a house for 600 plus, and their house is worth 450. I said, you've got $1.4 million of potential business right now. You're putting on the Gold Mine pipeline from text sprinting one person. He's like, yes. He hadn't even realized it was $1.4 million. Okay. Connect with people. Now he said he sent out probably 50 texts for that. So having 5 contracts with 35 people, that's like the best story I've ever heard. What could you do with this? Right? Every time you pick up the phone, every time you text somebody, every time you DM someone in social media, every time you door knock, every time you go canvass a neighborhood in person and invite them to your neighborhood open house preview, you have an opportunity to sell another home or add value and pick up another client. But are you doing it? Right? Are you waiting for the business to come to you? I promise you, when you do these things result in really great results. I mean, this is just the icing on the cake. Okay. I will say I have a document. This is the thing that didn't make I'm going to show this to you. So I want you to think, how many people can I add to the pipeline every week? How many people can you add to the pipeline every week? Next Thursday, we'll go through this worksheet a little bit better. All of these top lead generation strategies are here. Are we focused on time blocking the success? Did I time block that I'm going to sit down and do lead generation? Okay. How many calls did I make? What were the outcomes? Did I put more people on the pipeline? Like, your goal is to fill the pipeline every day with people. Okay. Whether you do this from listening to my podcast, or you sign up for coaching, or you sign up for, the subscription. I'm going to share that with you right now. I want you to book this call, and I'm going to share with you, ideally, your success is contagious. It will breed more success. It always does. This is what ends up happening. You do 1 or 2 of these things, you fill out the pipeline, you see the number, your eyes get big, and you're like, I do have enough business to do 10 million. I do have enough business to do 15 or 25 or whatever. We take teams from 140 million to 200 million. Why? Because the collective team had $230 million of potential business on it. Once you see what the potential is, if you want to do 10 million, I need you to put 15 million, or probably you're going to close 85% of it. I need you to put like 12.5 million on the pipeline. You'll close 10. Okay. It's really quite amazing. These are true stories. This agent went from 3 million her first year to 9 million closed her second. Now she does, this is even outdated. Now she's at 85 transactions a year, solo agent. in Pittsburgh, solo agent, no team, doing 85 plus units, but almost 20 million, low volume. Another one, 100K from one open house. She made $100,000 in revenue and income from doing one open house the right way with the right strategy, the make $50,000 strategy that we use. It's unreal. Book that strategy call if you haven't. I see a bunch coming in right now, and I really would recommend, okay, that you book this call. You can bring the pipeline to the call. You can bring anything to the call, questions, whatever you want. This time is yours, and it will change your life. It really will. I love to meet new people and throw everything I can to help you. Gail Nelson, thank you. I think we just put the call link in the chat. Thank you, Liz, and look forward to meeting you. If you have not met me before, take advantage of this. Okay, people pay, $1,000 a month. They get literally. You can see the ROI of the actual deals that you will close by doing that, right? And in some cases, one deal pays for the whole year of coaching. And our goal is to literally hit those marks for you and help you increase your income, decrease your work output, and have more time to do the things you want, whether that's spend time with your family, travel, or go on more appointments, right? I like that one too. Our one-to-one coaching program, we're giving you 50 off the first month right now. So you can take advantage of this. Liz, if you want to put in the chat, we've got a 50% off coupon that you can use. And I believe, here we go. It's 2 slides in. Here you go, 50% off. First 50 is going to save you 50% on the first month of coaching. So our $995 plan would be $497 a month. And that first month will be half. And I guarantee you in your first 2 coaching sessions, you will have a pipeline that you didn't even realize. See, you can do the pipeline. I'm giving it to you, but there's a massive difference of doing it with a coach, a massive difference. It's about probably 5,000 times more effective when you do it with us coaching. Either way, though, I get it. If you are concerned about your budget, we have premium, which is $1,000 a month. We have pro, which is $595 a month. Again, our coaching staff is here ready to help you take it to the next level. There's no platitude. There's no wishful thinking. This is real. The results speak for themselves. Our monthly subscription is called Playbook. That is going to be just access to the Sherri Johnson Academy. And some of your companies might pay for that. So I don't want you to sign up for that if your company is already providing this online academy to you. If they're not, this is an opportunity for you to get, I think we're at about 80 agent and team coaches, 85 team and agent courses, rather, not coaches, that you can implement. Their micro content. You can listen to them quickly and implement their downloadable letters, downloadable content that you can put into a postcard, a door hanger, an email campaign. We give it all to you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's done for you and ready to go. Sort of like a turnkey solution. This is going to start at $49 a month for access to the academy. It's called Playbook. It's a monthly subscription. There's not a contract. You can prepay the whole year and get a discount. And then the Playbook Plus is going to give you everything in Playbook, which is access to the courses, micro farming, make 50 grand your next open house, how to build a 90% referral business, social media, listings, buyers, all of that content. You'll get all of that plus one group coaching call a month. So we'll actually coach you in small groups so that you can get coached on your pipeline and bring your challenges to that room on Zoom, and literally for $99 a month, right? So you can prepay that, save a month, I believe it is. And here's what's great. People join one-to-one coaching after they've been in Playbook for 2 or 3 months. So if that's how you want to, ease into our coaching program, that would be great. If you are wondering how you can get all of this, $20,000 plus of coaching for free, please book an appointment with me, and I'd be happy to share that with you as well. You can join my organization, and I'd be happy to have you benefit from all the things in my real estate company that you can get by just being with Sherri Johnson in my real estate company. So it's unbelievable. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to actually give you the link one more time for Goldmine Pipeline, in case you didn't see that, and also for this strategy call. So here's the Goldmine Pipeline. Anybody have a question before we depart? I have my glasses on. Goldmine Pipeline is your lifeline. It's going to double or triple your business. It's really amazing. And second to that, of course, is I really, really encourage you to sign up for that strategy call. Oh gosh, Liz has it in the link. But here's what I tell you. It is, where's that slide? Thought it was this next one. Here we go. The strategy call. It's back here. Here we go. So if you want to book this call, thanks for staying on. See you next week, 1 o'clock Eastern. As a matter of fact, we are on next week, and actually the next 2 weeks. We will see you here, 1 o'clock Eastern. Send the link to a friend, book your coaching call, sign up for coaching and change your life. Invest in yourself. I promise you, you are going to love it. Great booster shot. You're welcome, Susan. So great to see you on here. I hope you're doing well. I'd love to see you. Guys, put this plan in action. Set a goal. Focus the way these brilliant minds focus, like Steve Jobs, like Elon Musk. How do they do it? They focus 80% single purpose, 20% the noise. So what are you listening to? What's going on? How can you do this and sell 5 houses a month? I'm here to help you. I'll see you next week on the Catalyst Coaching Call. I'm Sherri Johnson. You rock. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.